Here is my Navy Flying Hovercraft, and this is what it used to look like. Ever since I bought this, it's been one thing after another. In the last video, I discovered what 10 years of sitting abandoned had done to it. I had to strip away all the rotten wood and fiberglass, and I even had to pull out the engine. After I removed the shell, I found even more damage, and it's rotten. Like, it stinks. And this was bad. The entire foam hull was full of water and infested with ants. This damage will determine if the craft is even repairable. So the goal today is to turn that all around. So first things first, it's me against the ants. I've been trying to take these suckers out for 3 weeks and they're still crawling around. So I need to figure out where their colony is. Through this rebuilding process, I've learned ants love foam, especially carpenter ants, because they can easily chew through it. So unfortunately for me, this hovercraft makes the perfect ant home. Whoa! Look at all those suckers. There is ants everywhere. I originally tore the hovercraft apart because of the water damage from sitting abandoned. But these ants? They've done 1,000,000 times more damage than the water. I think there's thousands of ants living inside this hovercraft. So I'm left with no choice but to keep ripping this foam out until there's no ants. Whoa! There's more of them! Oh man, there's even more! Holy cow. Look at all these. I think that might be the queen ant. I finally found the ant nest. All that white stuff is larvae. So I'm just vacuuming it up. There are so many ants, and they all seem to be running this way. So I need to cut some more stuff out. I am determined to take these ants out. I have to get rid of them before I can start repairing the foam. It's such a bummer to keep cutting stuff back, but these ants have to go. They're everywhere. Look at them. This is insane! For the past 3 weeks, I've taken out piles of ants with traps and diatomaceous earth, but they somehow keep popping out. It's like there's an unlimited supply of them. Whoa! Oh my goodness! They've eaten so much of the foam. Holy moly! Alright, I gotta vacuum these up. I have never been at war with something like I have with these ants. And they are destroying me. They're still popping out everywhere. I cannot believe the destruction these ants have done. Look at this. They've eaten all of this foam away. Now that I've wiped out the ant Taj Mahal, I need to make sure there's not a single one left. So I'm breaking out the ozone machine. No critters can survive an ozone machine. I just can't breathe it in, so I have to leave. I really hope this ozone machine works. Oh man, it's been 2.5 hours of the ozone machine and the ants are still alive. Ants over there, there's ants over there, they're running over there. So one of my worries was the ants getting into the house. So I covered the perimeter of the garage in diatomaceous earth and you can see it's taken out a bunch of ants. So if the ants touch that, it cuts them up and they can't survive. So I'm gonna cover the hovercraft with plastic, pump ozone into it all night, and then sprinkle diatomaceous earth. I'm hoping the ozone will make the ants run out of all their little cavities and then get cut up with the diatomaceous earth. All diatomaceous earth does is dehydrate the ants. It's made up of fossilized aquatic organisms called diatoms. But to me, it just looks like normal baking flour. There's no way the ants survive this. So I've got the ozone underneath the tarp. So anything under that tarp is done. We'll check on this in the morning. Ozone machine's been running all night. So far, it's looking like there's no ants. I'm gonna clean everything off and really inspect. I think the ozone worked. All this foam that the ants have chewed through is soaking wet because there's tunnels so the water was able to get in and saturate the foam. So this all has to get thrown away. I've got my moisture detector and I have a really heavy piece of foam. So let's see how much water's in it. Wow, over 20% water. I'm gonna vacuum this mess up and see if more ants pop out, because the ants do not like the vacuum. I've noticed whenever I use the vacuum, the ants go crazy. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone, scaring out any ants that are left and cleaning up the diatomaceous earth. Oh, no, look at him. Oh man, I really thought I had him this time. Well, I better cut out even more foam to make sure that's the last of the ants. I have no idea how those ants survived, but the really good news is I've cut out all of their trails. Now I just need to chase all of their trails deep into the foam. Let's see how this cuts through the foam. I'm worried that if I don't get rid of every single ant trail, that I'll never be able to get rid of these things, because it seems that they hide out in the foam and they're safe from all my attacks. We got some pretty bad news. This thing works great, but these ants are inside of this thing. The ozone, I don't think it did anything to them. Look at this, I just found a ton of them. Rats, that is not what I was hoping to find. So this whole side, I don't think it's salvageable. All of this is full of ants completely through. I thought the ozone for sure would have taken out the ants. I've been battling them for 3 weeks and they're winning the battle. I'm not gonna let them win the war though. The really good news is this side is about 80%. It's just the right side that is super, super bad. I've got a moonshot idea, but I think it's gonna work. I'm gonna clean this entire top layer off and pour a new layer of 2-part polyurethane expanding boat foam. And then I'm gonna flip this entire craft over and repair the foam from the other side, because I think all of this foam is completely ruined. The ants are all the way through it. If I'm gonna ever fly this thing off the water, I need to have complete confidence. Having ants inside the hull is no good. First step, I need to hook the winch up to the engine mounts. The reason for that is there's still a lot of weight in the middle and I don't want the foam to sag. So I just lifted the weight off of it. So when I pour the foam, it should all go in the right spot. I'm gonna do a test pour right there, see how everything works. I've never done this before, so I have no idea what's about to happen. I need to give the expanding foam the best chance of adhering to the old foam, so I'm just cleaning off the top surface. I'm gonna be using the Total Boat 6-pound density. It's a 2-part closed cell polyurethane expanding foam. I've been told this is the best stuff to use. So I'm gonna mix up a little bit, pour it on, and see what happens. I need to mix this stuff up quick before it starts expanding. Man, that looks great. This 2-part expanding foam is like magic. It is so cool. While that foam cures, I'm gonna take you over to where I'm having my very own garage built. And this is something that is only possible because of you guys. So I am so grateful and I am stoked to share this with you guys. So where you guys have seen all the videos film, I rent and I've got roommates, and the electrical is very sketchy. So I have to be super careful plugging stuff into the walls because I can overload the electrical system like really easily. So I finally get to have my own spot to film the videos, and it's because of you guys, so thank you so much. All right, let's check out what's going on. Dang, someone was strong, huh?
Ever broke.
Wow.
Don't move that.
Do you guys have another wheelbarrow? Should I go grab one?
Would you?
All right, right when I showed up, everyone started yelling because one of the guys broke the wheelbarrow, and there's only 2 wheelbarrows. So I need to go get him a new wheelbarrow. Hopefully Ace Hardware has some wheelbarrows. All right, wheelbarrow secured. I know this is very time sensitive, so I gotta get back quick. The wheelbarrow set off a chain of bad things. So the concrete is starting to dry and it's not flat. Putting on their boots and they gotta put me to work. This is my first time ever doing actual concrete and it is way trickier than it looks. The middle of the concrete pad is too high and that's partly my fault because I was running the wheelbarrow. So we're dragging all that mud back to make it flat. Oh, whew, that concrete was crazy. So what's getting built there, it's gonna be a little bit bigger than this garage. So I am stoked. And like I said, I rent this and I've got roommates. So to have my own workshop just to make YouTube videos is like insanely epic. And I have everyone that watches the channel to thank. Like if it wasn't for you guys, I would not be able to do that. Like for real. Thank you so much. All right. The foam. Oh boy. It adhered to the old foam perfectly. Look at that. Sweet. See all the bubbles? That is not supposed to happen. The polyurethane I'm using needs to be around 70 degrees to properly react. And it's really hard to keep this garage that warm during the winter. So I need to warm these bottles up. This is my DIY hot pad. All this is a waterbed heater. So this gets really hot and it's gonna warm up the bottles. That will help it properly react. I picked up that waterbed heater on Facebook Marketplace to help dry out the foam. And I set it right there to dry this foam out and it burned a hole. It gets that hot. Now I'm just gonna pour each section and slowly build this side up with foam. Heck yeah, things are looking up. First, I need to do some sanding so I can pour new foam. Well, on a second thought, I just uncovered even more ants. So I need to see how far this tunnel goes. Well, I thought I cut out all the foam I needed to, but it appears that the ants have another tunnel system below this layer. So I need to cut it out and make sure I really get rid of these things for good. I am so impressed with these ants. They're still alive and they're popping out everywhere. I've been trying to get rid of these for 3 weeks and they're still alive. I gotta give them some credit at least. Today's video is sponsored by Maeve. Maeve's dog food is made with human-grade ingredients, real meat, vegetables, and most importantly, 0 synthetic junk. I like that you can actually see what you're feeding your dog, and it's super easy to use. I just scoop it like you would normal kibble. This is Goose. I'm sure you guys have seen him in some of the videos. He's my best buddy, but finding food that agrees with his stomach can be a little bit tricky. He's very sensitive, and that's where Maeve steps in. Since Goose is my best buddy, I want him around as long as possible. And to do that, I need him to be healthy. So feeding him great quality food is a must. Ready, buddy? Oh, he'll clean up that mess. Goose is obsessed with this food. If you want to give Maeve a try, use code MATT at checkout for 25% off your first order. You can scan this QR code or use the link in the description. Thank you so much, Maeve, for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to the build. Well, my big idea of shaving off the bad material and pouring on new material is not gonna work because there's only bad material. So if I just keep taking down the ant nests, there's gonna be nothing left. So I've got a new big idea. I picked up a bunch of polystyrene foam and I'm gonna glue it to the old polystyrene foam. Then I'm gonna flip it over and rip out all the old and glue on some new and reshape everything. Since I'm replacing all the old foam with new foam, I need a way to shape the foam board. And I don't have any foam shaping tools, so I'm gonna make my own out of some PVC, a battery, and wire. All I'm making is a basic hot wire cutter. And since the hovercraft is made out of polystyrene, a hot wire cutter will work great. So if you go on Amazon, these are a couple $100. So I'm just making my own for a few dollars. So I'm gonna have a really hot wire in the middle and that's how I'll cut the foam. But I need to add a bow to this so I can tighten the string easier. My little heat gun, this should be pretty easy. Time to put on my nichrome wire. This stuff is pretty cool. It's resistance wire, so you can add electricity to it and get it really hot and you can cut stuff. It's the same wire you'll find in a heat gun like this or a hair dryer. It can get really hot and it doesn't break. My wire is tight. Now I need to add power to it. So I'm gonna use this battery adapter. Got the baling wire. When you see me using baling wire and a hot glue gun, watch out. Final step is to connect the battery adapter with the nichrome wire. Hopefully I'm not about to fry this Hercules battery. Woo! Smoking. Oh! I don't know, guys. I think that might be too hot. Holy moly, I should put glasses on. This is way too overpowered. I got a lightsaber. That thing is glowing red. This thing's sick. It cuts the foam like butter. I've got a quick change of plans. Instead of covering this with the polystyrene, I'm gonna cover it with the expanding foam because the expanding foam is much more durable. So when I flip this over, it will be easy to take out the old polystyrene and leave the good 2-part polyurethane foam that is not infested with ants. It's gonna be a 5-gallon pour. If this expanding foam actually works, it might be the key to save this entire craft. That worked better than I was expecting. I'm gonna get the sander out and sand everything down. I'm using a Hercules surface reconditioning tool. This tool is meant to take off rust and paint, but it's working perfectly to take off the bad top layer of foam that has old adhesive on it. How cool would it be to have a mold for this and just do one giant expanding foam pour? After cleaning off the top, it's time to clean the sides so I can touch these up. So I need to cut out pieces of this styrene to glue to the edges so I can use the pour foam to fill in the gaps. And just like that, we've got a whole lot of new foam, so I need to knock off the high spots. This foam turned out sweet. It still needs to be shaped, but I'm gonna do that when I lay the fiberglass. The next step, and I'm a little bit scared for this, is to flip this craft over and see what the bottom looks like. When I first bought this craft, I was told it was crashed into a chunk of ice, and that's why it sat abandoned and then got waterlogged and the wood rotted. So, I have no idea what I'm about to find on the underside. There's the first look at the underside. I don't see ants running everywhere, so that's a good sign. Wow, there is a lot of damage on the bottom. That is definitely where it impacted. See how it's all broken? And that is also broken. I feel like this is about a 3-man job to flip the hovercraft. Oh man, I just realized I left the gas tanks hooked up. There's a gas tank right there and a gas tank over there. It's very important to not get gasoline on styrene foam. This could have been bad. Definitely a couple gallons of fuel in there. Oh, it stinks. Let's go take the other tank out. If you mix styrene and gas, it turns the foam into a goo. This tank was pretty much empty, but I'm still glad I'm taking it out. Should we flip this thing over? My buddy's coming over to help. I think this is at least a 2-man job. You think we'll be able to flip it over?
Looks like you're halfway there.
And the other one holds it up.
The other one, I think so.
It's okay. We got this thing flipped over. That was pretty easy with 2 people. So you can definitely tell this is where it hit something. Okay, 15%, 30. Here's a normal dry piece of foam. 0% moisture. No way. 0%. What? No way. It's dry up here. So right here in the middle, this is the most important part of the craft. This is what holds the engine. This is what holds the wings. So hopefully this is not full of water. Should we jam the moisture detector in there and see what we're working with?
Uh-oh.
Oh no. What is that?
I can't.
35% water in the foam. Let's see what the wood is at. Well, that's very bad. %68 water. This is worst case scenario, I think.
Yeah.
And we still don't know if the engine runs. Oh no. What's under this? Holy moly. 73% water. Dude, look at that. It's gone. There's nothing there. Oh no. 50% water. 70%. Oh man. That went right through. There's nothing there.
Oh no. You filled up another ant colony.
They're everywhere. So originally, I thought all the damage was on top from the ants and I would patch it and then flip it over and just fix some minor damage on the bottom. But the bottom is also in terrible shape. That makes me wonder, maybe the foam in the middle is also in bad shape. I'm willing to replace all of this. It's just the center, because if the center is bad, then all of this is bad. But if the center's good, then I could just fix the outside.
Let's find out.
Right there. This is a core sample from the center of the boat. And let's see what our moisture content is.
0.
No way! This is the end? 20%?
Bottom end. So it's only the top quarter-inch that's wet.
This part of the boat looks awesome. Let's check a different part. Right there.
Love it.
Oh! Top side.
9%.
Core. 0. Bottom. 22%. This might be fixable. 0%. Bottom side, 0%. Middle, 0. All right. That's actually amazing news. So as we go back on the boat, it gets progressively worse. This may be fixable, but I'm completely out of expanding foam, so I need to order more. I think this is fixable. I'm gonna try to keep fixing it. If you guys have any ideas, like always on this project, let me know in the comments. I've learned so much from reading the comments and from people reaching out. So thank you so much for all you guys' information. I'm so excited on this project. It's just so much more work than I could have ever imagined. So thanks for liking these, for subscribing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I really wanted to accomplish way more in this video, but the damage is much worse than I thought. So thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. If you like this video, I've got a bunch of other ones. We'll see you in the next one.